Hello, hello, hello. I just have to open this up for some reason. Hey, um, happy Friday, everybody. Uh, I am here to with a little bit of thoughts about time today. I don't know what's going on. I did something really wacky. Um, I actually videoed this yesterday and I lost it. So I was uh, just lost it. So I'll do it again. And this one is about the way that we think about time. So, do you know anybody who says they have tons of time? No. Who has extra time? No. Like everyone I know, and certainly myself, I just feel uh, always like I don't have enough time. It's my most common complaint, probably. It's like there's too much to do, I don't have enough time. No matter what, if I'm on vacation, there's too much to do, I don't have enough time. If I'm working, there's too much to do, I don't have enough time. So the question is if it's useful to do mind work and manifesting to get our thoughts into a positive place, when the heck are you supposed to do that? Nobody's got time to take the time to manage your mind. Um, and as a counterpoint to that, I want to offer you something that there's a wonderful teacher called Brooke Castillo. I'm in one of her groups. And she had a podcast one time that I just thought was fantastic, and was so it really changed the way that I think about this. Um, she basically said um, that your brain and your thoughts are the most important things that you need to invest in, and she meant invest time, invest money, invest energy. Um, and she said because it makes sense, if there's something if there's anything going wrong in your life, or the results in your life are not the results that you want, the chances are extremely high, pretty much 100%, that your brain is not in a good place. Probably you're in some negative thoughts. This isn't to blame anybody, it's just what we do and how we've all been trained in our society. And just and COVID and everything. It's just very normal that we do this, that we get into these negative thought loops, and they don't give us the results that we want in our life at all. So um, the thought is, you know, what you think leads to your feelings, leads to your actions, leads to your results. So if you're not thinking good thoughts, if you're not thinking thoughts that lead you to the feelings and actions and results that you want in your life, uh, your brain is, it's not clear. It's not a good spot. So taking the time, and conversely, of course, if your brain is in a positive place, leads to the actions, to the feelings, to the actions, and the results that you want in your life. So Brooke was arguing, and I really heard it, and I thought it was really helpful, that there's actually nothing more important that you should do than take the time to invest in your brain, your your energy and time for sure, and maybe even money. I don't know, like whatever you have to do to invest in your brain. So we invest in our retirement, in our finances. We invest time and money in staying healthy. We try to get good foods. We try to, you might get a gym membership. You invest in, um, you buy health insurance. So it's like, for our health, you invest time and energy in your relationships. So she's just suggesting, and I really take this to heart. As soon as I heard this, it's like, why am I not investing in my brain every day the same way that I do in all these other things? I do invest in my health and in my retirement outlook and in my relationships. I invest time and energy in those things. Why don't I do the same thing with my brain? And, so it's like, what actually does that mean? And for me, it means exactly the kind of practices that we've been doing in this group, and that I talk about in my book, and that I practice daily, like just the manifesting practices, and kind of um, all of the cluster and collection of thought practices that lead to better mental hygiene. So His Holiness Dalai Lama is always talking about mental hygiene. He says we have a lot of physical hygiene, that we focus a lot on our physical hygiene and health, and we don't focus on our mental hygiene. So it's exactly this idea of like mental hygiene. So the idea is like you kind of can't. For me, I realize like it's crazy if I don't do that. It's so important to do it. So I actually spend at least an hour a day. And this isn't to like freak you out. This is just, I love this. This is what I do. Usually it's more like an hour and a half, and it can be even 2 hours. But to me, the first thing that I do when I get up in the day is I start kind of these personal prayers and kind of thoughts as soon as I get up, and then I take my shower. Lobsang and I'll just tell a little bit about those first hour and a half that I spend. Oh, I'm at 6 minutes. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit more. Um, Lobsang and I watch, we love the Dalai Lama. We watch a teaching from the Dalai Lama in the morning. He does these Zoom teachings that are just really lovely. We watch 15, 20 minutes of that in the morning while we have breakfast. When we're finished with breakfast, I come and I sit down. And actually, I go around the house for like 15, 20 minutes, just fixing the bed, doing, straightening up stuff, washing the dishes, like whatever, throwing, extra water on the yard, whatever. I do things, and while I'm doing that, I have those morning practices on the card that I've often showed you, and I'll just go through some of those. I'll do some affirmations, some thoughts. I just kind of write thoughts and things that I want to think about, things that will put my brain in a positive place. I can't talk about all that here because there's so much of it, but I've been telling you some of it, and I will tell you more of it as I go. Um, but just and it could literally be anything, but it's certainly like the blessings, the gratitudes, the visualizations, just some thoughts that I find really helpful. Like there's this one thought, for example, that it's working. I just have this thought, it's working. And I've written it down on one of those cards. I see that and I think it's working. And it's like, instead of thinking, oh, something's wrong, it's not working, I don't know what I'm doing, blah 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 blah, I just think it's working. Could be anything in my life. It's working. It just kind of gets me in the kind of right state of mind for the day. Many other of those. I do my aligning with spirits, and on and on and on. I do those things. And plus I meditate now for about 20 minutes. When I first started meditating, I meditated for 3 minutes, and like that was all I could hack for a long time. And usually now 20 minutes is fine. I use the Headspace app, like I told you guys. Usually that's fine. Today was actually a little challenging. 20 minutes felt like, oh, I don't know if I can stay, but I did. I've had enough. Been doing this a few years. So I have maybe 2 years of practice of meditating every day. So it's like becomes easier and easier to just to do it. So just sharing with you that's when I started doing that. That's when my life started to change, and that's when I was able to kind of break out of that rut of being in a job that I just loved in so many ways, but just was not right for me. That's when I was able to start devoting my time, as I do now, to my two passion businesses. One is our Tibet travel, one is my work for women, and helping other women get unstuck. And just a lot of things shifted in my life. And even, at the beginning of COVID, it's like it was a chance. Not to say, there have been some shitty moments for sure during COVID, like no doubt about it. Been some really hard times, but it's like it was a chance to actually to deepen those practices and to spend a little more time. So I'm not saying that to suggest you should like jump in and start doing an hour and a half of practices every day. That's not everybody's thing for sure, but just 5 minutes or 10 minutes every single day is, I think, a really beautiful and worthy investment in yourself and your mind, and will make enormous difference in your life. Well, that's my thought. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear. I would love to hear, like, is does anybody actually already have morning practices, or the morning, evening? For me, it's morning practices that are, that you're doing an investment. What do you think? What are you doing that you think that you would consider like an investment in your mind and your mental hygiene? So, love you guys very much, and have a wonderful weekend. And I will talk to you on Monday. Okay, ciao. Bye. Bye. Bye.